What's up world, I am the Nameless Gamer, and welcome back to Danganronpa. I'm staring at the red double doors, you know what that means. It's time for this class trial. Everything's pointing at Hiro, but everything was pointing at Toko, and everything was pointing at... well, everything was pointing at Leon, and... I feel like I'm missing a trial here, hold on. Everything was pointing at Toko. Didn't we do another trial? Or was that it? Or was that the second one? It might have been the second trial. I feel like I'm forgetting one entirely though, and I feel really bad about that though. As soon as we were all there...
Monokuma appears!
No. He's multiplied?
Wrong.
Nope. Not multiplication. It just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy.
You're not playing along.
Stop.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay. Hey.
Then if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train. That's the elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go. Please!
What the heck?
What the heck?
I probably should have been reading these. Sorry, I was reading them in my head and like absorbing. I'm still thinking about what's next. I'm trying to remember. I feel like I've forgotten a trial, but it's only chapter 3, so I'm probably not actually. I told you already, I didn't do it for serious. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume or the note? No, but how unfortunate. Then it seemed we would have our culprit.
Hey.
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Okay, I always feel bad about these videos because I don't do a lot of talking. Because the characters, these lines are actually voiced. So I don't need to. So I'm going to be probably very quiet, only chiming in with bits of evidence or, what do I do? Or moments every now and then. But I'm not going to be talking as much, just warning. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Fumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two who lost their lives. The one who killed Fumi and Taka. The one who killed 2 of our friends. The killer is someone right here. Let's just get right into it. Took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk toward the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, the doors closed on their own, and the steel box began to move. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There's no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. Someone's not going on the elevator back up. That's a sobering thought. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the word.
Only because of you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come
Stop
on.
goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. Well, that feels like a dig because that's exactly what I've done for the last 2 class trials. Because I just leave them in episodes, and yeah, that feels like a dig at me. I'd never hold on to you like that. Hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment. Will you stop? That's literally the exact same. Yes. Same thing. I've just been using one save file and overwriting it. Set skills. What skills do I have? I think I didn't earn any other. Oh, wait, I did. Allows you to reload 2 bullets at once, effective during the bullet time battle. I don't know what that means, but that'll be handy, I think. I don't know, it sounds effective. But that's it, so... I'm going in. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class
I get it.
trial. So if you can figure out who, then I'll punish everyone beast now then. To begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Says Jim.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprint for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer, or anyone else? We have to make that clear. Oh no, I hate these. Or no, these aren't as bad. He has to hear this message. So we're going.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Wait, that's everything? Well, that narrows it down. I mean, looking at the blueprint, the handwriting is awful messy. All right, here's handwriting is. Okay, that's right.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all... No, it's wrong.
That's the message I was talking about. I thought it was the other one.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
Oh! I didn't
There's
notice
no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
that.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Well, okay. That's the most involved Byakuya's gotten in a long time. Yeah, what?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
Apparently.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
I know. Of course he passes, and of course he passes it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question, the one that might have been in the suit. I don't know. I don't want to say either of the. Well, Hira's. I'm gonna say Hina just because it seems a little slightly more plausible than. Why me? That comes from Super. Oh yeah, that was stupid.
Shoot!
So it has to be Illuminati, which is a stupid answer. That's right. They're all working behind the scenes and trying to set me up. Ah, no, I'm such an idiot. Those dudes are super scary, for serious.
Shoot!
What?
I got it!
What?
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
I feel like I missed something. He said, I believe Hiro to be innocent. Goes, who would be in the suit? If he said Hiro, if he thought Hiro would be innocent, why would the correct answer be Hiro?
That doesn't make any sense. You just
Yeah,
said Hiro didn't
I'm
do
lost.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
it. What? Now that's a bold
Is
assumption.
it Kyoko?
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But
Is it
before we
Kyoko?
get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
She sets up Hiro to be running around in the Robo-Justice suit and then kills people with the Justice Hammer. Could it be Kyoko?
All things have a proper order.
Shit.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
That seems oddly specific.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain
what they were.
particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
A tarp and a dolly. The blue tarp.
I got it!
And I could have used the dolly as well. Still one more thing. Things that were used to move Taka's body. They must have been the dolly.
I got it!
Yeah, see? Not that.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
Yeah? What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository.
Yes.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
Yes.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Pretty sure.
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
No.
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room.
I'm not 100% positive.
It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong, and nobody expects much from you anyway.
Damn, Celeste, I like you.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what
Shit.
is going on around you.
Wow, never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. Maybe I can change your mind. I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. Ah, no. Fine. Let's talk about reloading. What was that noise? Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. At the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you see your ammo count. Oh, it's this one. Up until now, there hasn't been really a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. From now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you one bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the tab key in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember that the tab key now has a function along with the right mouse and left mouse buttons. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. How did I trigger fever time? Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. My accident difficulty is not on general. Or gentle, I don't. Moment of truth. I don't remember how to activate fever time.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree.
Oh.
You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
That's how I activated fever time. I hit space.
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Okay. I'm always nervous in those. I finally started to figure it out, but it's a little tricky.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
Yeah,
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, Celeste really hit me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become
Oh, right, because you
immediately
can't.
obvious.
You have to bend down to move the dolly. Hina said you can't bend at the waist. Okay. Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was
Yes.
killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved
Yes,
to the
using the
repository,
dolly.
correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the
Yes.
tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
No, that's not it? Okay. Must have been...
Shoot!
Okay, so I waited a little... I was a little too early.
As we know, Taka
Okay,
was
that's how I
killed
slow
in the
things down. I
equipment
had to
room.
remember.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't...
Oh, that's not a contradiction. Why did I do that? That was me being an idiot.
Shoot!
Okay, getting dangerously close
As
to
we know,
losing this.
Taka was killed in the equipment
So let's
room.
think of everything
And from
very
the body was moved
thorough.
to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
Break.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're
Sorry,
in that
I just don't
suit,
read the stuff I've read
not only
before.
can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that
I mean,
dolly if
you
you
could always
couldn't
kick it,
bend
but-
over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your
That's
feet?
what I said, Celeste.
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well,
suit when you're ready to move the body?
You can't take it off on your own.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then you really can't take it off by
You
yourself?
were there!
Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Yes.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Kinda, yeah.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said? So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from
It's
every angle.
Kyoko, isn't it?
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do
Yep.
it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
Yes.
As it turns out, it was Robo Justice.
As Hifumi called him.
It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
and then...
Screams came from downstairs. It was Hifumi. We covered this all last time.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office.
Yes.
But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
I might start skipping some of these because I'm reading them faster than they're coming up on screen. So I'm sorry if I'm skipping them. You can pause when they're all, I'll bring them up all on screen first. I'm not reading these because I read them already.
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead, and after
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true,
I have
then
no
what?
idea.
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, we have to find them no matter what. Monochroma file 3.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Do we?
Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Just names were numbered, but they're really using that order.
So, regarding Taka's
Oh, that's cool.
death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
I don't lose a heart for
Or
missing it.
perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Oh, that's not it, so it's the first one?
We already know what order they were killed in.
What? Oh, no.
Shoot!
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died.
What was that
before
thing where I could, like,
Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
take someone's...
We already know what.
There we go, that was what I wanted. The truth bullet flashback. If you target a weak spot and then hold down the left mouse button, you can use that weak spot as a temporary truth bullet later.
While Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See?
But I don't know
So
which
it's
ones...
obvious
But there's only 2
Taka came
contradictions, so... Which do I have to shoot?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
What makes you say that?
I didn't copy it enough. It'll be this one, won't it? I have to shoot the other one.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3.
I'm gonna
while
shoot the other one
Taka's
with this
death
one.
came from a swing of Justice
This is
Hammer
gonna be
4.
close.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death,
This is gonna be
I
close.
wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order it is we killed in.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
That was close.
Hold on.
I forgot about
There's
the.
no reason to assume
forgot about
that
the
hammers
copying
were
truth
used
bullets
in the
thing.
same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
His wristwatch. Man's Gambit. Oh, this is the one where I have to spell. Yes. Not R? What? I wasn't paying attention. Fuck. Yes. One of these days I'm gonna hit no and see what happens, but not today. I know what I have to spell. I just forgot which letters I already had. I have the 2 T's, so I don't need another T. I do need an R. Oh, I need it in order. Okay. Now I need the S. Now I need the W. A. C. And H. There we go.
Now I understand.
That's the problem with playing this game so spread out.
I got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night, so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
Yes.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
This is so far the most layered.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the
Which
window.
makes it's probably
Because when he
Kyoko.
was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Except Kyoko and Hiro, who were missing at that point.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later
It's
on.
possible, but I don't see how that's relevant.
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct?
Yes.
And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment
Where no one was there. We were all in the nurse's office.
At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body
Yeah, because I have no clue.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible
Is there an elevator
possible?
somewhere?
What? How? If the dead body were to move itself.
What?
The dead body
I mean, we did bring Hifumi back thanks to magic tears, but
No, not another. Ghost.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried
Which is why he
out
would
the
have cleaned his
nurse's
own
office,
glasses.
but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
yeah, there's something that backs it up, and it's his glasses. Broken wristwatch. What?
Are you saying that
Okay,
when we
we're gonna
first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you've heard the body discovery announcement.
But that could have. But that
along
was
with
for
the
top.
rest of
Oh
us.
no, except
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was
that's for
made.
Taka.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh, I didn't get there in time.
Are
Maybe
you
the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
Nope. Okay, that's what I thought.
shoot!
So I am gonna have to copy and paste and use my other.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
But what?
there's a chance he was actually still alive?
How would I counter one with the other?
Along with the rest of us, Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Got it. Okay. I had to think about it. It didn't take too long, but I had to think about it.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together.
Celeste has
into
been
one.
very antagonistic in this, antagonistic and contradictory in this trial, which makes me kind of suspect her, but I'm not 100% sure.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was
Yeah, that is
plenty.
a lot.
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Second body discovery announcement. The first time I played it, I found each body in the nurse's office. The second time was when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. Body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which means you may use however you like.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Boom.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead
Or
yet.
one of the people there had seen his dead body before.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's
Glasses.
office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada
Right.
boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still
I have
alive.
something.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Just prove that. I know what it is. Make my argument. From these glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's
Yes.
body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
Oh, 2 and 1.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Not true. Gotcha.
No, it's wrong.
Brick. I don't know why I like saying that when it comes on screen.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
It was the... right there. Glasses. The glasses cleaning cloth.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Is it? I totally missed that.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to
Yeah.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses
Hifumi
are...
and Toka.
I wouldn't be
Oh,
caught
and by
dead
Kuya.
using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Tissues kind of work, but tissues are so flimsy, they leave residue all over your glasses. I wear glasses.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses
True.
owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No, it was a real wound. He was injured.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies.
Or not.
He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I don't know. Are you gonna expect me to say Hifumi?
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only
So how
be
did
locked from the
Hifumi die
inside.
then?
Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body.
But how did Hifumi
He
die?
convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Is it Hifumi and Celeste working together?
There's more?
Based on circumstantial evidence, that seems backed up, but I can't think of anything else.
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Has it?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
No. The... Oh, no. It's right click, right, sorry.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
Yep.
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro.
Taka?
And that person could only have been... I got it!
We went to the
That's
equipment
right.
room
Taka!
at 6.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, can't let her get to me. We're doing this again. Okay, I'm not gonna shoot in the first run. Broken wristwatch, Hifumi's glasses, and the glasses cleaning claw.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
And that's the same time as the broken wristwatch.
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Okay, I totally lied. I shot on the first one, but I figured it out quickly enough.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. Ugh. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
He stole
Yeah.
it?
Where's your proof?
The
Go
ripped
ahead,
corner and the
show
ripped
us.
piece in Taka's hand. It's gonna be one of these two. I'm gonna go with the scrap of paper.
I got it!
That seems to be correct.
When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was, if I'm right about this, the sheet. I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on
Paper never
Hifumi.
tears that.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Yes, as far as I'm aware.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice.
But then
in
how
the
did he
murder.
die?
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Nope, body discovery announcement.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then,
That's my question
killed
for the last
Hifumi?
minute or so.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the
So
repository.
that's not much time.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
and what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, The way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Or use the one right outside the repository.
Wouldn't that be seriously risky
Spotless
for him?
one.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So then, what was used to kill
I know
Hifumi?
the answer. The picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure it out. So I'm gonna have to find out the truth. So we're going back in. The spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Spotless hammer.
Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Nope, that failed. No idea what you're talking about, but I want to stab your adorably serious face off.
Shoot!
Okay, so that's not it. So, again,
What was used to kill Hifumi?
let's not go
Was it
until
Justice
throughout the first
Hammer
set.
3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more
What?
info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one
No,
of the
it
Justice
did not.
Hammers.
No, that's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at
That's
all.
not.
No, it was something completely
That's not
different.
entirely true. It was still a hammer.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small
One's as
ones,
big as your head.
and even some flat mallet-like
Sorry,
ones.
I had to say that.
I think
I
whoever
had
made the
to say
Justice
that.
Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Yes.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The
Celeste.
one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. That's what we thought at first, but I don't know what my argument's gonna be in this case. Spotless hammer still? That means I'm probably gonna have to use someone else.
Based on the rules that have been
So-
laid out for us, Even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
So do I have to pick up 2 murders and use it on
Based on the rules
possible?
that have been laid out
Oops,
for us,
I didn't mean to shoot.
even if more
Glad
than
I
one
missed.
person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is
I'm gonna
simply
highlight
impossible
2
that
murders
two
from
people work
Kyoko and shoot
together.
that.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
Only lost 1 heart that time.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit
True.
to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
So in this case, Hifumi eliminates his competition with Alter Ego.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies.
I'm still thinking Celeste, but I'm not positive.
By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
Yes.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Yep.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the 2 murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. That's why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. It's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right
Yes.
now.
Truka manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. The debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, and consider all that, there's only one person who seems to fit. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Celeste because that's what my gut says, but I have no... I don't know for sure.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual
Yes.
now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the 2 of you.
Screaming.
Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the 2 of you were working together.
Oh, encountering the suspicious individual? Yeah.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are
Shit.
talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
Yeah.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
What's wrong? That was rather intense scream for something. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as he screamed. He was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down the hallway.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Ifumi screamed.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same
Yes.
time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly
They
become
do.
connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
That was from when she first got attacked.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our
This
minds.
is true.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then
When
that was...
Hifumi moved.
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
Yep.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your...
But now he's gonna make me figure it out.
What?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be in Giant state.
I remember her saying
Yeah,
that too,
not sure.
but I don't understand what's so strange
Unless
about
the
it.
they...
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to
Yes.
the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was
True.
completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really
It
get what
means
it
she knew
means.
Taka was dead without anyone
You
telling
hear
her.
that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Curious. What is it he's alluding to? Once more onto the breach. Monokuma File 3, that's irrelevant. I'm gonna have to copy paste.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys
That's the
died.
contradictory statement.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Yeah. So I need to highlight those guys and those
All
guys.
I said was,
Oops,
they
shit.
must really be enjoying this.
Keep forgetting,
Enjoying
clicking doesn't
the sight
skip.
of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
Just like those guys.
We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious,
Can I
isn't
shoot
it, what
this?
was so strange about Celeste's comment?
No? Before you figure it out yourself why our comment doesn't make sense. Okay, so not that.
That's all I said.
Oh, I have to highlight all and shoot those guys because
It's obvious,
all
isn't
isn't
it,
there.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
unless I copy So Strange and shoot those guys. That might make a little more sense. So I have to wait until Byakuya speaks,
All I
copy
said
his thing,
was,
and then go. I've got two ideas. I'm
they
gonna do
must
the
really
second
be
one first.
enjoying this. We are
This
going
might
to
not work.
die, just like
Oh, it
those-
did work.
No, that's wrong.
Break.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys
She had no
died.
idea Taka died.
When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the
But
picture.
you decided only you can finish.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You
Which is
are
something
the
else we
only
haven't
one who
covered
could have
yet.
possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Good question.
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
Like what?
No, there is no other explanation.
It wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Fumi away. Was it? And the only possibility is Fumi is dragging the suspect away. Fumi and the suspect.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within
How?
the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
Hiro into it.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
What?
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
So that's just to prove there's no way Hifumi was dragged. Is that really possible? We're here again. What are my truth boards? Robo Justice Costume, Hiro's message, and the Robo Justice blueprints.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing
Can't bend that
perfectly upright.
erased.
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
I gotta wait for it to loop around again, but now I know where to shoot.
If the person inside the suit
Oh, no.
was
Shit, I didn't mean to do that.
There's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, that's wrong.
Bend at the waist. They'd have had to be standing up straight.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo Justice suit had a
So
certain
we've already talked about it in
characteristic.
this trial. You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little
Is there?
problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
What was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed? I remember their name. Yasu. Hiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
Yeah.
You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He, Mr. Someone.
I got
Miss,
it.
he used
That's right. Our
yeah,
last
Mr.
names.
Someone. Miss.
He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What
Celestial
did you just
Luden.
say?
Some berg or something.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do
I mean, when you're screaming like that and very clearly guilty, yeah.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, that was a little weird.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Sister won't give up, so then I have to just make her accept it. What do I have to do? I'm out of ideas. E-handbook, spotless hammer, Yasuhiro's message. None of those seem to help too much.
Kifune was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
It'll be on your e-handbook.
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have
I
no
do have a
right
way to
tell
contradict
me-
you.
No, it's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
So now's the part where I assemble it.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Boom. I got that one right.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Yep.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Which is Hiro. I got that right. Then
That someone they met with
They knocked him
was
out.
Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on
Yep.
Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for
they
Hifumi.
assumed it was for Taka.
We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
That's a cool image.
Celeste. Sorry, you lose.
Complete. I actually got it on the first try.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Why do I feel like that's foreshadowing? Is she gonna be like, for her punishment, is she gonna be strapped to a giant concrete set of letters that say "I lost" and dropped into a giant pool?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
And her voice just changed.
Taiko?
So, you
She's been
finally
putting on
accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
This is weird hearing a normal voice. Pretty good. 93 monocoins.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end,
Yep.
isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay.
Respect to Taiko, I think she said,
If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote.
for accepting it.
And when the votes are tallied, who will become
Nothing
the
left.
blackened?
Just accepting it, so respect to her.
Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be?
The game's up and she knows it. The act is over. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised this whole stinking scheme, was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. Guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Fumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I
So
knew
you really
it.
did approach Hifumi with this plan? How did you get him to agree? Can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree. Then
So
did you
then-
use, I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but there's one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean she's talking about alter ego? What? What? What are you talking about? Don't
Just a
interrupt.
second.
We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. Totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In
You're the one
other
who stole it?
words,
That's
Indeed.
right. She's still talking in her note.
I see.
You used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here? I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What? Are
It was
you okay
Taka.
with this?
He stole it. What? And I have
So
proof.
then-
Would you like to see it? It turned out I'd found a use for the digital camera. Taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
It was him! How did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
Please
As
forgive
for
me.
me,
He threatened me.
oh,
He did? Came to my room
as
last
for
night
me-
unannounced, then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice. That's a crime, an absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him. Wait,
Most
please. If you
unfortunate.
go now, you will be playing right into his hands. Taka's planning to
Actually-
use her to escape. He has made you his target. Escape? You don't mean Taka's going to try to kill you. And also he can keep
Indeed.
her to himself. That bastard!
This
Bastard! 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 Can we allow him to
Honestly.
continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? She...
I swear I will save her!
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. With that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Ifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. Power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me. I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation? Yeah, it was a
Indeed.
real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something that would hide the face and general body set. I had no idea he'd make something like that. It's my fault for picking him in the first place. I'm trying to use her voice as Taiko instead of Celeste because game's up, like I said. So why do you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it. In that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry. But when you were explaining your plan to Fumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? She's asking is what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live? That's
Are
simple.
you okay with this?
After he did his part and pretended to be dead, when someone showed up, he told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. Can you really believe that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Fumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Fumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. All seemed very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death. So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. How can human life mean so little to you? That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win. Now you sound like Byakuya. No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike. Then, what made you take things this far? Is it really just for money? You talk about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape. How long you've been saying how we have to accept living here? Obviously, that was a lie. I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. Whether anyone else in here. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Because I had a dream. And accepting life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever. There was no way that I could ever do that. All of a sudden, this sounds like Sayaka again. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing. And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
Isn't it
To live in a
wonderful?
European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers slash bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but fortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I? It sounds so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it? You asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing. That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Terrifying how different our values are. There's simply no room for understanding. That's what we should be saying, and plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared? That's right.
Yes,
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice then, I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette. You'd just get executed again. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. Now that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills!
You all done? Okay then, let's get rolling. The Blackened disturbed the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment
Guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way.
What?
Which is why... Actually...
It
it's
probably
not.
is.
Well then... Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
List has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Of course, it's a castle. Oh no, she's on stage. And she's not in the castle. The burning of the Versailles Witch. Yeah, she's tied to a stake. Wait, what? I didn't see what that said. Oh, so she's not gonna die by burning, she's gonna die because a fire truck smashed into her. Ran her over. So even in his executions, Monokuma tricks everyone. It's over. Third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I can't deny that. At one point, I considered her a friend too. For him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of the regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die. You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives. Jeez, here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me get out of here. You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's on my destiny, it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through the... I read that in Monokuma's voice, even though it makes no sense to be in Monokuma's voice. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste? So, what's the deal with that? What's the matter? I'll answer your question if you answer mine. What did you do? What did you do to me? What? Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how exciting!
Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh man. Oh jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? Mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean? Okay, things are getting kinda awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here. Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
Kuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although if it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave you?
So...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. So that means Celeste probably hid it in there. So
Hey.
sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check. Good idea.
Indeed.
We left the courtroom and rushed to the dining room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said, I'm going to
Hey.
go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone? Do you even have to ask?
So-
As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera. It's not what I
Come
mean.
on.
Why you? Still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too. You?
What?
Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya. It's up to you
Well
now.
then.
I'm gonna go to the dining hall. Okay?
Okay.
Tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Yeah. We need to get into
So
that
then-
locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. As the locker swung open, we saw... Good morning! It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I've never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please just wait a little longer. So now I can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me. What are you trying to do all on your own here at this school? Is that why you wanted to come here with me? Regardless, that's not
However-
something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried. Worried?
What?
What happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared. We didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that, it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too? No! I believe in you. You believe
What?
in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand. Then maybe I
It's
can
true.
believe. Just a little bit more. Then, fine.
That's
I'll tell
fine.
you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I'd believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action. The boys'
Correct.
bathroom on the second floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? Okay, I was gonna leave the video here, but I have to figure out what's going on now. This isn't the kind of cliffhanger I can leave off. I don't see a storage... Oh, over there. There's the storage closet. It's just a normal storage closet. As far as the secret... Could it really be hidden here? She said it's way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet. Suddenly, as if I was being yanked in, gosh, at the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? Turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door, and I'd made my way to the other side, just like Kyoko had said. In the boys' bathroom on the second floor, there's a storage closet. And in the back, way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? Books, a table, tissues. There's so much files. It look like volume after volume of heat. Oh no. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand. Before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file, and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I can understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. It's a strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before. Yeah, they sound familiar. But I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? Uh-oh. strange sound rang out through my head. I felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what happened. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. Dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much, at least. Okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's very intriguing, but now I am gonna have to leave it till the next video, but... Holy shit, that was an interesting video. It's like Makoto said, they killed people. It's hard to feel sorry for them, but at the same time... I don't know. I liked Celeste. She seemed like a pretty cool character. And now she's dead. And like I said, at the end, she knew the game was up, so she dropped everything. She dropped the entire act. She had enough respect for everyone to not drag them down with her. The game was up. She went out. So respect to her. Now there's a secret room, and I was just attacked, and literally every single file is gone. But whatever mysteries are waiting to be unfolded now, they're gonna have to wait until next time. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. Thank you again, and goodbye.